Alright, fuck the intro, let's get right into the video. Today we're talking Hereford basement defense. Defense? Offense. Talking about offense. We did a video on defense, and here's where I plug in that video, but fuck that. Okay, so here's just a casual drone spot. You hop on the sandbags, you hop up to here. People know about this now, but a lot of people will not shoot the drone up here. They probably won't see it or recognize it. If you've got idiots on your team that scan drones in ranked, then, you know, then that's tough shit. Otherwise, your teammates hopefully should not scan on the drone. You should keep the drone here. And generally, even if you scan on the drone, because people are trying to do challenges and shit to get points, then you probably still will have the drone up there because they won't know where it's going from. Obviously, off spawn, pre-aim windows. Thatcher actually go before your thermite, obviously, because you're less important to the team. So, essentially, you want to thermite lockers. Obviously, Thatcher. So you want to Thatcher lockers, and put a claymore down on the left doorway. The reason for that is basically your thermite's going to try and open up the double locker's door, either at the left or the right side, depending on what you guys like to do. And you essentially need to, the claymore will help protect your thermite. The enemy team can still potentially get a shot off on him and kill him before the claymore goes off, but at least you trade in that case, at the very least. So I recommend putting a claymore there. There's another claymore spot on the double doors, and there's one you can put on the second floor stairs, but it's entirely up to however you want to put them, depending on what your team likes to watch. And you're going to want to Thatcher obviously the small hole in lockers, and basically you're going to drop the bomb. Thatcher thermite can take bomb, but just having the bomb dropped in the general area outside the A bomb is just going to help you help make sure that no one drops the bomb on the third floor or anything crazy shit like that. So at this point, you can entry frag. You can keep your other EMPs on you, and you can keep your first EMP. In fact, you don't even have to EMP the small hole. If you ash the ash hole above the double reinforcement, you can actually shoot any jammers or anything they have from the second small hole. But the reason why I recommend you bring Thatcher is just to make sure, because I think he's more consistent than Twitch for taking out something like a mute jammer, which they can easily run on this site. You really don't want to be slowed down. You really do not want to have to go around the site. So I recommend bring Thatcher. Guarantee you're going to get through the walls, and that's going to make your time attacking the site so much easier. So after this, essentially you want to kind of protect thermite, pre-aim the walls, and pre-aim the doors you can go through, or have them claymored. This one, however, the big door, you can claymore this in case Thatcher dies, so you still have like a claymore down. However, I would recommend Thatcher actually open that door and basically hold different angles and look down this hallway. The reason why is because it will support your Habana when she's trying to do hatches, and it just means that they have you have more angles down to the first floor. See anyone who's rotating when you guys start pushing in, but this is very early on in the round. When you actually start pushing into lockers, you won't have Thatcher play in this position. Now the downside to this, of course, is if someone tries to rotate through mid to lockers, they can easily do it without breaking a door. However, in this strat, I would kind of recommend doing this because you're going to have your Habana and your another character probably on the first floor anyway. So it's recommended that you just do this. It would just help you off the start of the round, help Habana off the start of the round do hatches, and once they've kind of cleaned out the first floor and open maintenance, then you don't have to really worry about this drop as much. But if it happens, it happens. If someone pushes around, they might take advantage. It's just a flaw. There's obviously a counter to a lot of the strategies that I'll show you, especially on Hereford. It's a very strategic sort of map. So that's Thatcher. Now, obviously, we're going to go to Thermite. Pretty smooth transition to Thermite. Here's a drone spot. Put a drone in lockers. That way, underneath the thing. You probably should already know where that is. It's underneath the benches inside the lockers. Again, pretty much spawn, the same thing. And you're essentially going to want to thermite two things. Now, if they're bandit tricking the double wall, or if you know they haven't put bandits down, or if they haven't, if bandit hasn't put his charges down in the prep phase, which you might not know from droning, to be fair, Essentially, Claymore here first. Claymore first, just so you have extra protection before you actually do anything. You can put Claymore on either side. I recommend on the left though. And you essentially want to thermite this wall first. I see a lot of thermites thermiting the left wall first, and this is wrong for two reasons. First of all, they can bandit trick you. Even if they've got a mute jammer down, they can still bandit trick that. And because think about it, Bandit now has 4 batteries, so he can put bandits down on all 3 walls and still bandit trick on top of that. And the second reason is that you can get shot from 2 angles: the stairs and the door to the left. Whereas this angle, you can get shot from. You can pretty much only get shot if they push out through the front door. So, and like I said, Thatcher will probably be watching that at that stage, so you're pretty safe in this position. And they have to push out far from the door as well to be able to shoot you. This is the safest place to thermite, and also they cannot deny this spot to thermite. They cannot bandit trick this spot, because your Ash, you'll see later in the video, is going to be opening this wall. So thermite this one. And also, that's going to help your team try and kill bandit if he's bandit tricking this wall. Do the right one if they're bandit tricking, do the left if they're not, essentially. But you can do either one. It's entirely depending on what angles you want to take on the site. I would recommend the left, just because you get like kind of more of a clean cut angle onto, it's very like, it's against the wall, it's whatever. So essentially, now what do you do after you've thermited? If you're taking smoke grenades, then you can support the team more. It really just depends. Like, you can run Claymore for the doors and stuff, or you can, so like, with thermite in this case, I would consider taking smokes if you're not running a Ash and you're running a Buck instead. If you're running an Ash, she's going to take smoke. She's not going to take breaching charges for any of the strategies on basement generally. So you can pretty much, in that case, then take the Claymore. But it really depends on your team setup, and what you guys like to do. But Thermite's pretty much compulsory, and Thermite Thatcher compulsory for this strat. You can potentially run Twitch. I just think Thatcher is going to consistently get you through those holes, the reinforced walls. I would recommend doing it. So essentially, you play post breaching positions. You look into maintenance. You look into lockers. You look into the stairs. Play this area in lockers. Essentially, what you do is Thermite. Now, if there's someone in lockers, you're going to drone this, you're going to know. You and Ash or Thatcher, 2 of you, are going to challenge from 2 different directions. You're going to challenge from double doors, double reinforcement wall, and someone's going to push there first, and like half a second after, someone's going to push from small door. The whole point is to kill the person in lockers, or at least take control of lockers. If someone dies in the process, even if you say you don't trade a rook and he's run off into the site, that's good. It's not technically good, but you don't, as long as you take control of lockers, it's actually a benefit to the team, because you essentially get a cross to the site. You can look over the cross to A. The enemy team only has smoke to break your line of sight, and smoke really isn't that effective for breaking line of sight, and if he uses smoke grenades to do that, then it's just, I don't know, it's not really that effective of a strategy. I haven't seen it used in any Pro League matches, so I haven't seen it used. I wouldn't recommend it. You can pretty much see through smoke, yellow smoke, anyway, so, it's whatever. Anyway, so, basically, kill the guy lockers, and then, as Thermite, you basically play inside lockers, or a bit outside lockers onto that ledge, and just pre-aim the cross to the side. That's all you need to do as Thermite once you've opened the walls. Some people would say you can entry frag at this point. I don't think so. I think, entry fragging onto A, you need a faster firing gun. And you just need better weaponry to entry frag into A. And I think you actually support your team more hanging back and watching that angle from the cross to A. Now, the problem with this is it can get quite annoying as a Thermite, because you have to basically rely on your team to push into A and grab the bomb. But just kind of remember that you are helping your team purely by watching the cross. Unless the enemy team does something crazy, like putting 2 people on A actually on the site with deployable shields and shit, which can make it difficult, then this is probably the best way to do it. I mean, you have to drone the A site to figure out if they're doing something stupid like that. In that case, just wallbang them through the wall. You're generally not going to come across people doing something like that, but it will happen from time to time, especially in casual. and even in ranked, so just be prepared for something like that to happen. But that's essentially Thermite's role on the team. Once you've done that, just pre-aim, that's all you gotta do. Do not leave lockers unless you have to. Like, if you're getting pushed by someone flanking like from outside, then fine. But at the moment, if you don't try and do anything but watch the cross to A, just watch the cross to A, because I guarantee the moment you look away, the moment you try and look at stairs or you try and look into B bomb, you're gonna get either you get killed or the enemy team pushes into the A bomb. It always happens. Just pre-aim the cut. Doesn't matter if you're pre-aiming it for 2 minutes. Just pre-aim it. Okay, so that's Thermite. Very, very simplified role. You need to have Thermite and Thatcher on the team, in my opinion. You can run Twitch if you want to be a bit more risky, but Thatcher guarantees you're going to get through something. Anyway, so now we're going to go to Ash. Ash is going to kind of more explain what I was explaining there. So obviously, do you spawn repeat pre-aims? You know, pre-aim all that shit. I don't pre-aim everything here because I'm not trying to get into the video. Now, it's debatable whether you want to Ash this. I recommend you don't, because you only need to actually plant the bomb at A. You don't need to go anywhere else. Just keep, unless they've opened that, then, you know, check for shit, but teams will actually surprisingly open that. I think it's a good idea, it makes them worry about another angle. But don't open it yourself. So you don't actually have to use 2 here, you can Ash, like, one part of the wall. As long as you Ash the kind of like the right side, then you get better angles into lockers. That's the main thing you want to worry about here. Now, peeking people on the site is kind of debatable. You can get like you're gonna kill them, or you're gonna like kill trade, or they'll kill you. So kind of it's a risk versus a reward. If you want to do it, but it's whatever. So here I don't show it very well because I haven't filmed. Obviously the wall has not been opened. But essentially, you're going to want to kill someone in lockers if there's someone playing lockers. And like I explained before, lockers is a really powerful position for offense, but it's also very easy for the attacking team to kill someone in lockers. The simple thing to do is, again, open this wall that I'm showing you here on the video now. Like this one that I've just opened. Imagine it's opened. Ash and someone else push in at the same time and kill the person in lockers if there's someone there. Then after that, you can take lockers. Well, Ash personally doesn't take lockers. Ash is going to entry frag into A, which I'll show you soon. And then you can start pushing onto the bomb site. Now, obviously, I show you ideal scenarios here. Like, obviously, in game, people are going to die. But it's whatever. So your team's going to hold lockers, and then essentially you're going to entry frag into A. I recommend having other teammates drone A unless you're like really close to it, and then you can just push in anyway. Or like if you're not at risk of droning, then drone A yourself, and then you basically play the plan. Now here I'm just gonna pause it here. So here you see me smoking. The smokes here are not the greatest. Essentially, what you want to do is smoke maintenance door in a way that I'd throw the smoke actually in the doorway, so that maintenance can't see into A very well. I'd throw 2 smokes just to make sure. And then, if they've opened the wall onto the A site, throw one to try and block that line of sight, essentially. But it's more important to block the maintenance one, in a sense. Well, actually, no, not necessarily. It depends basically what the enemy team is doing. This is kind of like the flex part of the game. You want to bring smokes. It's pretty hard to if they've opened the wall especially, then you need to bring smoke grenades, smoke out the mid, smoke out the area I'm smoking out. But be careful because this can reduce the lines of sight of Thermite playing lockers. It can mean that because that smoke there is pretty bad because it means that someone who's playing stairs can rush into A. But like this one is okay because your Thermite's still going to be able to see, but the person at box is not going to be able to see a whole lot. So generally throw them towards closer to the doorways, and then you'll be okay. Now you can, this is the general plant spot that most people are going to plant in. It's the safest one. However, if you're feeling really careless, then you can plant in this exact spot here. This means this is the ideal plant spot, but it never really happens because even if you smoke, you can still get pre-fired. And I would not be surprised at all if teams will pre-fire this plant spot. So I'd plant behind the desk for most of the time. So this pretty much concludes Ash. After this, hold the post-plant positions. Generally just pre-aim stuff. But interestingly is Ash. Ash is a free speed and she's got very good guns. The thing is here is, unless your Thatcher is, say, playing this wall that you're looking at right now with Ash, which, to be fair, Thatcher can do, or he's looking through mid, your Thermite's going to be lockers, or at least looking down across lockers. Now, if you plant behind the desk especially, you can get shots onto desk from lockers, but it's kind of difficult to do, and it's not very consistent, depending on what side they're defusing from. So I'd recommend as Ash actually trying to semi-play your life, like basically play to deny the defuse, don't play for kills, don't push in any further. If you have to stay on the A site for whatever reason, then do. But if you die, then essentially your Thermite has to rotate. Thermite or Thatcher or anyone playing near you has to rotate to check the bomb. And you basically, another thing as well is that Thermite is going to get kills as they're trying to cross into A, and he can call out if someone gets onto A, okay? So you want to do that. Make sure you just, you're playing back, and if you get the call out someone's on A, then you challenge. Then you challenge and you get the kill, that's fine. But other than that, if you try and peek maintenance, you run the risk of getting hit by the peeker's advantage, and it's just not a great way to die. Okay, so that's Ash. Now we're going to go on to Habana. Habana's role is kind of debatable at times. We don't necessarily need to even bring Habana for this site. I've just shown it as an example in this strategy because I do feel like having 3 people pushing A is generally enough, because you only need so many to clear out lockers, and you only need if they have a lot of people on the actual A bomb, then that can get annoying. But in this strategy, you'll see why. So pushing here, you want to clear out garage. Yeah, in this video, I show Sledge as the flex operator, because the 5th one can be literally any one besides like a fuse. And then you basically, he's going to open the wall here. You're going to push someone on garage if there's someone there, and then you're going to essentially Habana the hatch. Now, there's 2 hatches. There's one above B, which you're never going to use. You're not going to use in this strategy. But the one you want to get is maintenance. Now, purely by opening the hatch, unless like a Jaeger kills 2 of you around this area, then you cause the person in maintenance to have to back away. There's no situation. They wouldn't stay behind the blue barrels if you've done it there. So that spot I just showed you, I'll just rewind it a bit so I can show you again. This exact position, place a claymore. You can place it in a way that it blocks the left laser, and then the first one only goes across the bars. Just practice around with that. It's not that difficult to do. Just put a claymore in this general position, and then it will stop someone coming up ladder. There's nothing they can do about the claymore. They have to go through the first floor. And since Thermite's looking at the stairs, you'll be able to, he's looking across from maintenance to the stairs, then you're fine for that in that case. So, actually no, early in the round it won't be. So it's pretty good to have Habana to do this, and the reason why I think Habana over Thermite is, one, because you need Thermite to make bigger holes on the actual lockers, and also because Habana can more safely do the hatches than a Thermite could. Here I show me moving to the other one and opening the other hatch. Now, of course, you're going to have your Thatcher. He's going to be pre-aiming through mid, like very early on in the round. It's going to help you out a bit more just to take down the hatch. What I would do is, here I don't show it, but as soon as you get the charges on the hatch above, do the maintenance hatch and then go do the B hatch, essentially. So a mistake you can make on the offense here is to get killed easily by the enemy team by simply peeking into maintenance too early. What I mean by this, right, is say you're in maintenance on defense and you're playing behind the barrels and the hatch goes. Someone's never going to be directly above the hatch. unless it's not never usually going to happen. But you can on defense kind of pre-aim head level and get a lucky headshot, which can happen. So to do this more consistently, I would open this hatch, go back to garage, have someone else, probably the sledge with you, look over you while you drone. Now you're gonna want to drone around the first floor as well. But if you drone out maintenance, I guarantee you it's gonna force the person in maintenance back. Now sledge in this case is extremely useful because he has nades to force the person out of maintenance, and once you force them away from blue barrels, then you can start pushing in down. You can push down and you can push into maintenance. And now once you take control of maintenance, yes, there's a hatch above you, but you just give your team so much more control over the site. And you'll see it here. It's really important to take control of this. So don't do this, like peeking in very too early. You want to force a person out of there first by the droning, because I guarantee you, once you drone them, they will move. Unless they're kind of like really stubborn, like a rook or a dock, like, I need to stay in this spot. Then in that case, just nade them out of there. They might have an ADS, which teams probably have an ADS down there, but it's whatever. If you're Habana in this case, you can bring flashes to flash out maintenance. I highly recommend it. And then you can throw in nades if the ADS doesn't, if the ADS stops the flashes. So that's what I would do. Basically, you're essentially to force them out of maintenance. So here I just show an extra thing where I open the wall. It's just if you want to do it, like if there's 2 people left and you just want to end the round, it's like 5 versus 2. However, for consistency, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't push in. I would stay in maintenance and purely just pre-aim this area. Make sure no one crosses into maintenance from the B site. Because when you're on the B site and you're holding A and they've already planted the bomb, it's very difficult to try and push out if you don't have maintenance control. So by holding maintenance, you make it harder for the enemy team to get control. And the only real counter to this is to have your roamers kill Habana in the first place, or push down through the hatch to kill Habana in that case. If it happens, it happens. But by this point in the round, you probably would have you probably will be going for a bomb plant, or have already planted in the bomb. Okay, so but always remember, when there's like a smoke or a like smoke and like a Jaeger left from the team, it's very clutchable. It's always clutchable with those kind of clutch operators they have. So here I show some flashes. This is not how we'd use the flashes at all. Again, flash maintenance, force person out, and then just push maintenance. That's what you need to do. Okay, it's an important note, right? On a lot of maps, you get very concerned. On a lot of maps, you get very concerned with roamers. This map is concerning, but it's only concerning when you're trying to open up the thermite walls and before you're trying to push into the site. Don't get too worked up on trying to hunt down a Jaeger or a Valkyrie or someone roaming around the second floor. Don't try and bother about that. Once you've opened the maintenance hatch, you don't have to worry about them. They have to worry about you. And then, essentially, they have to kill you, or their team is screwed over from maintenance. So, you have the advantage, and you can essentially kind of bait them to pushing the hatch. Now, you can literally just stick Habana in the hatch. You're still going to have the Claymore, if it's still the Claymore's still down, you're still going to have the Claymore in garage. And you can just put Sledge or someone else on the first floor on an angle where he can see someone crossing to hatch. And that is literally one of the strategies you can do. I'll kind of explain it more when I get to Sledge as well. And by doing that, if Habana dies, then the other person on the first floor can rotate to Habana. So I'll explain it more when I get to Sledge. I'm actually going to go to Sledge now. But generally, get control of maintenance, you can have a pretty good time. Okay, so now we're on Sledge. You don't necessarily have to play Sledge, but I think this is one of the maps where Sledges actually benefit the team quite well. It's particularly in this strategy, working with Havana. I do show different things you can do. But generally, Sledge is, well, this 5th operator is the flex. He can be, so you can do something like that. You can push in from the first floor, help Habana and Thatcher clear out the first floor. But you don't necessarily have to. I think it's a bit risky to do something like this. Like, Habana, yeah, it's risky, but she has to do it to clear out the hatches. but I would personally push with Habana. So like, I'm just showing positions the flex can play. You can help Thatcher and Thermite the walls. And you can also, if you really want to, go first floor. So, you know, push into first floor, or push into second floor. Well, actually, yeah, push in second, push in third. It's really down to you, like, personally what you want to do. However, the thing with this, right, is as the flex, your job is to support the team. It's not to get kills. Now, you might argue getting kills supports the team. Yeah, it does. I personally think do not go up top unless there's a roamer which has killed someone, like, and you really have to kill them, otherwise you can't do anything. But you can have teammates pre-aim shit like that anyway. But you know. So again, you can take a similar role as Thatcher and clear out first floor from the front entrance. But this is the one I want. This is the spot I think you should do. So you want to go with the banner off the start. I'd honestly recommend playing Sledge for this flex role, because you support a banner so much by doing this. So Sledge this, help clear out garage. Here I kind of like fuck around a bit trying to sledge shit just to get this angle. I don't recommend it because, you know, it's kind of a waste really. But the main thing to do as Sledge. So obviously I'm showing you shit you can sledge. You can sledge that wall to make it slightly easier for Habana to do the thing. But by sledging this wall, you essentially allow Habana to do that hatch a lot easier. You're never really going to push it through that hatch. If you want to go crazy, you can. But I don't recommend it. So, now you've sledged those hatches. And even better, I would still Habana the hatches even if they're not reinforced.